short themselves. But good to have full sides in both those teams. And I think just to top that off, I think about 40 numbers in Milo.
That's very good.
Frank Ricano and John Vessel. So they're doing
a good job. Yeah.
So moving into Longmere Shield, as we mentioned, A&A are playing the Machine, not only on Saturday but tonight, which this is Wednesday night being recorded, the inaugural 2020 competition.
What is look, and I don't live on the internet looking at these things, but there was no build-up. There's nothing on the A&A side. Is there anything on the CMCA side? Because it's just
there's been pretty much some limited information that's been leaked out from the CMCA. It's only been, I guess, emailed through to the secretaries, which have then priority passing on the information to the clubs to make sure that we've got players, and it's now out and about, the actual draw. I think.
When did that get released?
Well, it was only done early this week or late last week. So I think it's been work in progress to the point where they knew that the date was going to be this week, and now it's up and running, and we'll see how everything goes.
But it's like a 5 o'clock game, 5:15, or
yeah, that's right, 5:15 to I think about 7:55. There's a round robin of each of different areas. A&A seem to have pulled the trump card against Mackie, Bentley Uniting, and Amiga. So we'll be playing Mackie this week, and then Bentley Uniting and Amiga over the next couple of weeks following that. And then I think 4 groups of 4 will then be whittled down to potentially
so it's sort of
8 or 4.
It's regionalised, so that you got the sort of that side in the Pine Highway
That's
and
right.
the other side sort of thing.
Washington Park, for example, playing Elwood because
rather them than us.
Yeah, well that's right. So look, so that's how it's going. But back to Saturday in round 4. A&A play Mackie, who won their first game for the season after being 0-2. Playing Amiga. Amiga made, they were chasing Mackie's 4 for 180. I think Dean Bott,
yes,
the,
80 odd.
Made 80 odd there. Yeah.
I think Buddha Open made a 20 odd, and Parks he might have got another 20. But
and in Amiga they made 147 in reply with I think it's
Glenn
Beckett. Glenn Beckett top scored with about 80 himself. So
that's good for him. And I think Park got 5. For probably 20 odd. But again, just looking at Amiga's list, I still can't get over Darren Hall opening the batting. It's like pulling Richard Smith out and it's putting the pads on him and sending him out there on a Saturday. Couldn't do a worse job than what the guys are doing at the moment. But it'll be interesting how they travel. We've talked about them before. So.
Yeah, well, I mean the commentary in regards to Darren Hall got a few bites on the big cricket side. A few Amiga people, as they would. Bat for their own, and
that's fine.
Yeah, they got a little bit upset about it.
Also, what upset that we talked about Darren Hall playing once cricket,
basically, when apparently the response was in relation to the fact, well, you picked Cedric last year and you couldn't control him.
Okay, well, the fact that we picked Cedric was.
Well, he won the second 11 batting award, so
that too. But it was our centenary, our 80th game, and there's a bit of romance about it. But I'm not going to sit here and justify myself to Amiga. Come on, Darren Hall in the ones. I think, and look, Horry played at our club 10 years ago, and he's a good guy, and I like Horry. But just from a club point of view, you got these other guys like what's his name, Wilkinson, sitting in the twos. How old's he? 25.
Yeah.
He just wants to be captain of the twos. Well. Get some balls and play in the ones where the guys need you. I know Forrest is there, and I think he was first drop last week in their twos. Geez, I think they'd be better served with putting in a Luke Forrest. Horry's been a great club man, and I'm sure his face is on the board as
Amiga, and his
friend.
And his family's obviously got a strong connection with A&A as well. I mean, there's nothing against
No,
but
I think it's been misconstrued. That,
so I guess the argument is basically, well, where are the other guys stepping up in Amiga? Tim Mullane's playing, going to Derby Day and not worried about committing for a full season. He's done his yards, Tim Mullane, no doubt. But I mean, I guess Amiga is somewhat... needing that seniority to support the kids, who they've obviously got some great talent there. But
it's just that look, and this is again, like I talked about, it's my opinion, not Bentley A&A's by any means, but surely there's someone in the twos that you could be putting up. Again, Wilkinson, what's he all about playing in the twos? He's played against him 10 years ago, and he was making runs back then, I think, in Longy. So
No, that's a point. And we've made it very clear that A&A is not a clean house at the moment either. But we're just making our opinions, and that's why people watch it.
And I didn't open Cedric in the ones, did I? I batted him down the order. So, you know, they got Horry, poor bastard, opening the... I'm serious, the poor bloke's opening the batting in the ones, and, you know, I think he's made 2 ducks, and, you know, I know he's doing the team thing, but anyway, don't want to waste our time.
Right,
sort of stuff.
Anyway, so East Sandy, they beat West Bentley, who... West Bentley, they've won a game. No, they won a game earlier in the season.
They beat Amiga.
Yes. So West Bentley were chasing East Sandy's 155, and we're all out for 94. I think it was Pat Singh.
Yeah, he got Fifer.
Yeah.
I've never played against Pat Singh, so I don't know if he's a spinner or a quick, but
I think he bowls mediums.
I think he did all right last year in the final series as well. So I think it might have been his first game back. I'm sure East Sandy will be introducing all these guys throughout the year, playing their first games. But just West Bentley, they just look thin. The list looks thin. You know, I think Danny Frew's come back out of retirement, and you know,
Vidos isn't playing.
He's not there. You know, the weight just the pressure goes back to Chopper to take wickets and make runs, and I'm sure he will. But you know, what else can you do? I know they're playing there. You know, a lot of the young guys, so. They've just got that X factor about them still. Yeah, well, Casey hasn't played. You know, he comes back in, and Jack McLeod. He's a very good cricketer, so they've still got a lot to work with.
Hampton Central defeated Elwood. Hampton Central, they're 2-1 now, and that's a great result for them after coming up from Woolno last year. All out for 113, but they rolled Elwood for 90, which is a great result. So yeah, they'll be happy down at. The old 2 Blues?
Yeah. Look, I read that Elwood were 2 for 40, so they must have been pretty relaxed going on nicely, and I think then they lost a bunch of wickets. Maisie got in on it, you know, and you know, you got these senior guys, Goldie, just you know, they know how to put pressure on a team, especially if it's a young team. But Elwood would be kicking themselves losing that one, because they could be sitting top of the ladder 3-0 and looking very nice for finals. But look, Hampton, they're just could be my Monty for this year, making the finals. You know, I pushed it early with you.
They've got
they were played finals 2 years ago, but you know, looking at all these other teams, they haven't got that experience. They've got a young list, if that makes sense. So when they come up against teams like Kingston Heath, A&A to an extent,
they've still got some senior heads.
You know, they've got that experience and people who have done it before. So. 2-1, they're in the 4. I think they're sitting in the 4. So
they should be, yeah.
The test for them was when they'll come up against the likes of East Sandy and
United, and Mackie,
all these sort of guys.
Kingston Heath, they lost again to Brighton Union. Union have finally got their first win for the season, so they'll be wrapped with that. 200, I think, Union made, and Kingston Heath are all out for 129 following that.
I think I was speaking to Neil at the game on Saturday. I think Veach is injured, but he's still pushing through.
He bowled on Saturday. He bowled 5 overs for 9 runs or something.
Covey didn't play. I think that, you know, if they can get Covey and Veach fit, you know, they'll be looking good. Ivan, I don't think got a scoring. He might have got a duck or maybe 1 or 2. But it's good to see Kuzma and Gregory. You know, they've backed their kids. These guys at the top of the order, and they put on about 100 for the first wicket. So, you know, it's a good positive step for those guys. And
one name of interest at Union, I think, is Scorgie, because he didn't do much last season, but he played a great game against us last year when he made 80 and took a couple of wickets. He's someone who Union were really heavily promoting at the start of last season, with probably not the returns that they were hoping for, and he's just lurking about there, not really doing much, but you know, he's there though.
Geez, he can play, but just if he's, look, don't take this the wrong way, he just seemed a little lazy, if that makes sense. But I don't know how many games he's played this year, but I know he played on Saturday. But you're right, if they can get him up running with Anno and with Ivan, if Kuzma and Gregory keep getting off to good starts, you know. But just on Union,